All right, it's Bill here. It's a Sunday morning. Sun's out. And I'm feeling awesome. I'm just feeling awesome about myself. And I've been told to be a little bit more cheery. Well, it's tough to be cheery when you're a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. Let's talk about the 6-4 loss to the Vancouver Canucks. I'm going to sum it up in two words, one acronym and a word. AHL defense. Now, someone's going to talk about the goaltending. What were the shots on net? Shots on net, I believe, were like 47-21, not mistaken. Sorry, 46-21. Therefore, the goalie was in fault for this game, correct? Let's be very, very clear here. The goalies both let in 2 AHL goals. Nylander's goal should have been stopped from Demko. Demko looked awful on the first one. That got the Leafs back into the game. And I will say Jones should have had 2, at least, maybe 3, of Vancouver. But can I remind everyone what Martin Jones is? Martin Jones is a third-string goaltender. Martin Jones wasn't supposed to start the amount of games he has. In those games, I'm not going to sit here and blame Martin Jones. I would say Martin Jones has been good for the Leafs. The problem is an AHL defense, which, again, let's go through all the other things. What I did this time is I listened to a little bit of commentary after the game, and again, I hear how great they played, how great the Leafs played. That's what I keep hearing, how great the Leafs played. 47 or 46-21, dominated the second period, which I wouldn't disagree. They had patches where they're good. You're supposed to be a top 5 team in the league. You're supposed to be good all the time, not just for a period. All the time. But I really want to focus in on the defense. If you watch the game, now this is like the third game in a row where I've watched it. It's really, really pitiful. The Leafs have currently one defenseman, possibly a second, who could be in the NHL on other teams. 2 out of 6. And I'm giving Simon Benoit, he'd be the 6th defenseman. Morgan Riley would be on your second pair for the majority of people in the NHL. That's 2 defense. Brody, for whatever reason, I saw something, he lacks confidence. Yeah, no, we've seen that for a long time. Hit the wall. That man is more nervous with a puck. Well, there's people that are more nervous with the puck, but he's not nervous to take a hit. He's just nervous to move the puck because he thinks he's going to make a bad play, and he's usually consistently right with what he's thinking. Jake McCabe, he scored a beautiful goal and a beautiful pass from Brian Boitano, Mitchy Marner. Mitch Marner didn't have a bad game, by the way, everyone. He played pretty good. Again, I will call it as I see it. Jake McCabe, I would say probably is the most physical defense. Well, Benoit's probably the most physical, but in front of the net, he's a little bit more physical than the rest. But he cannot complete a pass out of his zone. He just can't make the first pass. I don't understand. Now, I will give them, it's tough to make a first pass when your forwards are 10, a couple lines away from you. It's a lot easier when you're coming up and making small passes. I agree. But Jake McCabe's he's not capable of it. Timothy Liljegren. Okay, I'm on my 5th year watching this guy in the NHL. He's not an NHL defenseman. Now, he had an ankle sprain, Bill. So did a lot of other people. Timothy Liljegren is the softest guy in front of the net I have ever seen. He gets out of the way in front of the net. He does everything he can to make sure that he does not make physical contact with someone out in front of his own net. He's soft. He's a downy piece of paper. He's a pillow. Like, I gotta think, every team sees Timothy Liljegren on the defense. They're going, I'm going to the front of the net, and I'm camping out, and I'm having a blast. Because no one coming to get me. No one. Mark Giordano is old. I'm old. Mark Giordano it's the sad story. It's the person who hangs on too long. You know what? I'm trying to find the right analogy that's going to be suitable for YouTube for Mark Giordano. Maybe I'll try a relationship. You know your relationship's breaking down. You do. You know it's breaking down. You hang on just because you've had so many moments in the past that have been so good. But there's no more moments that are good. But you still hang on to the old moments that were so good. He was okay, I want to focus on Giordano. Focus on Giordano before I get on the other ones. If you watch this game and you are anywhere related to Mark Giordano, could you please have that conversation with him? It's time. It was an absolute embarrassment. He was bad against Calgary. He was beyond bad against Vancouver. It's over. His career is over. Maybe a good coach. Maybe a good scout. Have the conversation with this guy, please. It's disgusting to watch people stay on too long. It's embarrassing. He was an embarrassment last night. I don't think any player wants to be referred to as an embarrassment. He was embarrassing. He got beaten on the first goal by Niels Höglander. Now, I have Niels Höglander in my fantasy pool. I don't know why he can't get off the fourth line with 14 goals. But at the end of the day, Niels Höglander's a skilled player. He's 5'8", 140 pounds. And Mark Giordano got schooled and beaten up by him. You want to know why? He was on the ice too long, and he's old. It's enough. There's a lot of things you do to people that are at the end of their careers. There's so many of them that hung on too long. It's too long. Relationship's over. I'm going to keep on the defense. What did William Lagesson do to someone on this organization? What did he do? When I watched William Lagesson play, he certainly wasn't Timothy Liljegren in front of the net. He actually was kind of more Benoit. Hits. He can't make a first pass. No one on the Leafs can make a first pass other than maybe Riley when you catch him on a good one. No one can make that first pass. But he was physical in front of the net. There's no way Höglander would have dummied him like that. We'll talk about the fifth goal in just a second. Again, Giordano, it's enough. Why embarrass yourself? Someone in his personal circle, have that conversation with him. It's a tough conversation. Don't get me wrong. It's a tough conversation. Have it with him. He's done. That's the defense that the Leafs put on the ice last night. And the defense that cost them the game. You can blame the goalie, sure. Maybe he should have the first goal. Maybe second goal was kind of cheesy. But I remember Nylander scoring 2 goals that looked pretty cheesy to me. So you even it out. At the end of the day, you got a bad defense. Horrible. AHL defense. Now, do you hang that on the coach? I don't know how you hang that on the coach other than William Lagesson. I don't know. Unless William Lagesson maybe did something with his wife or something. I don't know what he did. Get him in the lineup, for God's sakes. Take Giordano out. I don't care if he's playing Seattle. I don't care if he's on that team. It's time. Coach, it's time. You got to make the decision, coach. Hell, I'll take Connor Timmins, and I'm not happy about that over Giordano. That was just embarrassing. Embarrassing. Okay, forwards. I thought the first line was okay. Matthews played all right. Marner played pretty good. I'll give it where it is. And then they kind of rotated Yarncroc and Holmberg. He's just not talented enough to play with that team or on that line. It was a nice little experiment. It's over. You need someone with at least that can play the game. I don't know if you have one, but it'd be nice. The second line, they're going to look way better than what they were because Nylander scored 2 goals. At the end of the day, Nylander was the one responsible for the third goal. He put absolutely no effort forth. And on the third goal that the Vancouver Canucks scored, I want you to focus in on John Tavares. You guys get all, Oh, Billy, you focus too much on John Tavares. Okay. At least Nylander stayed on the ice, okay? They're in the offensive zone, having a good shift in the offensive zone. Clearly, they're tired. It's in the offensive zone. That would be the time for the change. Someone's got the puck. One of you go off, the second one go off. You time it. It's been done zillions of times in the NHL. No. They stay on because they're trying to get a cookie. And all of a sudden, it's a 3-on-2 breaking out. Nylander, at least, now horrible effort, probably because he's tired, tries to get back. I want you to focus on where Johnny T went. Okay, Bertuzzi still tried to get back. Johnny T went for a change. It's a 3-on-2 on your defense. Now, it takes Johnny T about 7 minutes to get to the bench from where he was. So Kampf gets on the ice just to get the minus. He barely stepped on the ice. Johnny T went for a change while the other team's on a 3-on-2. Just think about that for a second. Your centerman goes for a change on a 3-on-2. Your captain leadership, bails on a 3-on-2. Now, Nylander puts about his worst effort as you possibly can, but at least he didn't go for the change. You don't go for change at 3. What you do is if you're tired in the offensive zone, hey, coach, if you're tired in the offensive zone, you get one guy to rag it on the boards while the other two go for the change. And then when they're coming on the ice, the other guy can go for the change. Therefore, you have fresh legs on the ice. It's a really crazy coaching strategy. Very crazy. And the next thing you know, it's 3-0. Connor Garland. Let's go into the rest of it. The Leafs in front of the Vancouver net were getting killed. Myers, Zadorov, any of them, Susie before he got hurt, Hughes, they're dominant. He's nasty in front of the net. He hits people in front of the net. Our defense does nothing. Giordano tries, can't do it. McCabe tries, can't do it. Brody, and Riley in front of our net, that's just soft. So the Leafs battle back, get 3 goals. 2 of them were just flukes. The McCabe goal was fantastic pass by Mitch Marner. And then you've got a 3-3 with a minute left, and you got another tired line sitting on. By the way, that line was the Domi line. And the Domi line was atrocious. Knees, Domi, Yarncock, or whoever they threw on that bloody line was really, really, really bad. Domi should be embarrassed by that effort. That was bad. Nyes is just, I don't know what the hell that was. That was just bad. But Connor Garland, what is Connor? So I think he's smaller than Höglander. If I'm not mistaken, let me see. Höglander, what did they give the size here? Höglander's 5'9", 185. Yeah, he's sneaking an inch in there. What's Garland? I think Garland's got to be smaller than him. No, Garland's 5'10", 165. Okay, whatever. A small forward takes the puck and just goes right to the net. He gets 1 chance, 2 chance, scores, and then gets to celebrate. He did it in front of the net, and no one dropped him. No one dropped him on his ass. He just watched the goal. He takes the puck. He fires once. He fires twice. And then he gets to celebrate. And I don't know what Brody and Riley were doing. They were looking at him. Oh, sorry, bud. Did I get in your way? The Leafs. Bertuzzi missing a tooth in front of the net when he tried to kick it in the net. There no Leafs stood in front of the net and then got to score and then got to go celebrate. They got on their ass. AHL defense. It's a friggin' disgrace. You've got Toronto Maple Leafs currently have only 2 defensemen that could be in the NHL right now for other teams. That includes the San Jose Sharks, by the way. The other thing I want to point out in this game, we tie the game up 4-4. Great. And then so you get beat on the power play because Giordano can't cover a guy in front of the net. JT Miller. By the way, JT Miller hit everything that moved for the Leafs tonight. Giordano, I don't know what that was. Again, embarrassing. And it's time to have that conversation. Mark, you're not good enough. You got to know you're not good enough, but you probably got a little bit of an ego. You probably little lack of self-awareness. You might want to think, oh shit, I was on for a lot of those goals last night, and I lost the battle to lose those goals. Maybe have a conversation with myself. So they get beat for the 5-4 goal. Now, by the way, who took the penalties that caused it? Domi and Giordano, the two worst players on the ice last night. On the 6th power play goal, that's unforgivable. They ran the same goddamn play. Vancouver scored on the 5th goal. You would think maybe the coach, penalty killing coach, I don't know who the coach is. I think it's Van Ryn. You might want to have a conversation because they ran it's like beating in football. Okay, I'm going to run a slant, and then I'm going to run the exact same slant and get another touchdown. Don't you prepare for it? Don't you see what they're doing? They did the exact same play on the 6th goal. The 5th goal and 6th goal were the exact same play, and the Leafs adapted nowhere. As a matter of fact, on the 6th goal, no one was around the guy tipping it in. I think it was Patterson. At least Giordano was in the area code of Miller when he went off a skate. The same play beats you 2 minutes away? At the end of the day, there's one person who's responsible for this. Is Shanahan. This is the focus on forwards. The focus on free agency, going to get forwards, is just such a mistake. Such a mistake. You got one more year of this because Johnny T ain't friggin', he's got no self-awareness. He actually thinks he's playing good. I'd like to remind him he's got 0 points, 0 goals, 0 assists in a lot of games in a row. Tonight he didn't go -2, he broke the mold. But he should have been at least -1, but he made a line change, so David Camp took that for him. Thanks, David. Appreciate that, buddy. Shanahan, it's got to be. You're not going to do it in the middle of the season. I get it. He's a president, but he's got to go. Traveling, ding, 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 ding. Nice to know you. You can't build a defense. You didn't recognize defense. You made the mistake on Marner keeping him and didn't get defense for him. You're going to be held accountable. You should be. And Keefe, I don't know. How do you AHL defense? I don't know a coach that's going to get an AHL defense to play good. But at the end of the day, he'll be held responsible too. You know who won't be held responsible? The players. They play Seattle. Cheers.